And we are live. Hello again, everyone. This is again the Atheist Ranger. And, you know what? I'm doing a little something different here. Got my friend AJ, and, we're pretty much going to be talking about bullying. That's pretty much it. We're going to be talking about bullying and why, obviously, it is wrong, and we're going to talk about really some stories about our own past. Um, as my mother always said, ladies first. AJ, introduce yourself if you want.
Hello, I am AJ, and I am a bullying victim, and I have been for many years since my preschool days. I guess you could say ever since I was a baby, I was bullied. And people who say bully victims are attention whores, beat yourself with a stick, please.
Yeah. As for me, most of my I am also a bullying victim. Most of my bullying, luckily, as AJ pointed out before we started this, most of mine was in middle school. I don't know how the other kids found out, but they did found out that I was autistic, and unfortunately, being an autistic kid in the late '90s slash early 200s, a lot of people during that time thought you were just mentally retarded, which is not the case. Autism just means that your brain pretty much works differently. You have a certain way of doing things. In my case, you tend to repeat yourselves, and sometimes you have slight speech impediments, like I do. For example, sometimes I pronounce my R's like W's, for example. But yeah, would you like to start first, AJ, or do you want me to go?
You can go first.
Hmm. Alrighty, well, I think I said my last thing out. Oh man, I don't even know where to begin. It was just so long ago because I'm 25 and I was in middle school like 12 years ago. Yeah, but every day was just pretty much. I mean, the teachers weren't really a problem in my case, but the students, man, they just for some reason they thought it was pretty much like I had a sign on my head that said, "Hey, pick on me," because I mean, fucking everyone would fucking pick on me. The jocks, the fucking smart people, the quote unquote popular girls. The girls would just pretty much flat out use me to, prove their dominance to their, you know, group. I'm sorry if I'm starting. I'm only running on 3 hours sleep here, and I'm kind of tired. So I will say a lot. But I remember one instance. I just came home. Yeah, came to school, and I shared a locker with this guy named William. And apparently William thought it would be funny to slam the locker shut numerous times after I opened it. So one day I just had enough, and I pushed him back. And again, I was very a shy person. At that time I didn't know any self-defense. So he thought it would be funny to throw me on the ground and wail on me in front of everyone. And of course, as you may have guessed, no one stopped it. They actually cheered him on. And after a few blows to the head, I did manage to get the strength to get back up and grab him by his shirt and slam him against the locker, and that's when the teacher came. But yeah, apparently I was all throughout middle school I was everyone's verbal and on some occasions physical punching bag because I was the quote unquote slow kid who didn't talk to anyone. That's
What
just
they were doing was wrong. Definitely. They were encouraging assault, and they all should have been punished for that.
oh yeah, it was assault, but of course that when I was in obviously and during that time, quote unquote snitches get stitches, so no one would bother to say anything. And there was another one. Um, I was a lot more into anime when I was younger than I am now, and I don't know how, but they somehow. broke into my locker and tore up anime books that did not belong to me. They belonged to my friend, a friend of mine. And because of that, he not only would not let me borrow any more books of his, pretty much, because they got torn.
They
I
ruined property of someone else and got you in trouble for it?
Pretty much, because again, the books weren't mine, and yeah, they somehow broke into my locker. Well, I wouldn't say broke. Again, I shared a locker with a guy named William, so he probably let them in. At least that's what I still believe to this day. But
What the heck?
sorry about that. Sorry, they're calling me back into the hangout that we just left from. I told
Yeah,
we just sat there and said we were gonna do an anti-bullying video together. Why the fuck would they call us back in? Or at least me back in.
I don't know.
I'll do it after this. Fucking where was I, AJ?
Well, you told me about the property damage
Oh yes,
story.
yes. Again, I shared a locker with a guy named William, so there's no doubt in my mind to this day that he let them in. And again, I mean, the guy I was friends with, Michael, he was still friends with me. He just wouldn't let me borrow any more books due to that fact, because he didn't want obviously William having his friends go in there and rip him up. But that was
You
just
saw my video, right? And did you hear the story about my books getting stolen?
um. Sorry, I'm trying to remember because well, don't hate me. I did skip over a few parts. I got like to the main points, but no, I vaguely don't remember it. I can refresh my memory. Maybe I'll remember it.
Well, it happened in elementary school. We did need books, not huge ones, just a couple of books for science and history. I was alone walking down the hallway when this girl named Hannah, I think, started with an H, just randomly walked up to me and said, "Hey, Chrissy, can I see those books? They're so pretty. Wow, thanks, bye." Took
Oh
them
yes,
and
yes,
ran
yeah,
away.
yeah. I now remember that. Yeah.
And I got in trouble.
Yeah, you got in trouble with the school. Did your schools have cameras? I'm sure they could have. I'm sure you could have easily proven that.
They did, and they didn't even bother to look.
Oh well, damn. I would have gotten a lawyer if that's the case. So, so I know why I was bullied. Again, my I don't know how they found out about my. I guess autism is a medical condition. Uh, I guess mental disability. I guess I should say. I don't know how they found out about it, but I know the reason, for the most part, why I was bullied. Why do you think you were?
I guess I was just different in a way that made them feel like they could take power over me. I wasn't diagnosed until I was 11, so I guess my autistic traits, I guess you could say, showed anyway.
Huh? I got diagnosed way earlier than that. I got diagnosed with autism when I was 7, but I didn't get diagnosed with Asperger's till I was 13. I don't know
Hmm,
if you have Asperger's or not, but I just,
I
yeah.
do.
Okay, yeah. Um, for me, it was just during that time, again, I've pretty much been a loner almost my whole life, but especially when I was in middle school. I usually didn't talk to anyone. I usually kept it to myself. And, during that time, unfortunately, there was a lot of school shootings where, the shooter would inevitably be the quote unquote quiet guy who didn't talk to anyone. So I guess that's how the rumor got started that I had a hit list.
That's just so awful. to spread a rumor, especially a dangerous rumor like that, just
One that
because
could get
someone won't
sorry,
speak out.
one that could get me arrested, by the way.
At least there was no proof of anything.
No, I kid you not, to this day, the person that asked me that, I kid you not, I looked him straight in the face and said, the next person who asks me that, I promise you I'm gonna have one. And guess what? And I kid you not, no one asked me again after that.
Did you listen to the story about when I was called a Satanist?
Yeah, I think you drew some. No, it wasn't your drawings. I think you started questioning the Bible or something.
No, I used to like horror a lot, and I would draw monsters and just weird things that people just didn't understand. It was supposed to be artistic, but people took it seriously, and the black hood didn't really help, so I guess people started thinking I was a Satanist.
Huh.
And I was called satanic after I questioned a teacher about God.
Huh. Yeah, I was still a deist at that time, so I didn't have any religious problems. But for me, it was just, again, even today, not many people know about autism. It
It's
is
like
a
people won't even bother to learn.
no, it's just a freaking goddamn. Even a 10-second Google says you can just learn the basics. Even you can even learn the basics of Asperger's. Of course, you and I guess we're lucky in a way because you and I only have a mild form of both those things. Because Asperger's also is a spectrum like autism, and there's obviously that it's a very wide spectrum. You and I were luckily to be born on the mild side of that.
My
But
autism could have been a lot worse. It really could have.
oh, I kid you not. I've participated in the Special Olympics a few times. I've met autistic people who it's not that they can't speak, they refuse to speak. That's how socially I don't want to say inept, but awkward they are.
I feel bad for people who refuse to speak because something in their minds is keeping them, maybe not the spectrum, but maybe someone has said something to keep them from expressing themselves. Just something is holding them back from using words, and it saddens me a lot.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I think, well, I probably wasn't hoping to turn this to an autism thing, but since we're both have that, I guess we can talk about it a little bit because, again, that was the reason for my bullying. Um, Apparently, during that time, again, it was early 2000s. Not, I don't think, not much was known during autism at that time. A lot more has been discovered since then. But again, apparently, when I was growing up, if you had a quote unquote mental disability, you were mentally retarded. So you know what? I did snap on someone. I said, look, if you would actually bother to, because I took a computer class every day. The student who called me retarded, his name was Ricky. I said, listen, jackass, use that computer and look up autism, okay? Autism and mental retardations are two completely different things. With autism, your mind just works a little differently, and yeah, you're probably not going to be good at social situations. You're just not. I'm not myself. For example, and most autistic people have social anxiety. I know I do. Like I literally, even though I like going to concerts, I can't do big crowds. When I start getting big crowds, my I kid you not, it's just like my left hand starts shaking. Like that's when I know my anxiety is setting in. But to sit there and say that they're the same, but to go back on my rant I was giving this guy, I said, dude, go on that computer, look up autism. It is not mental retardation. It is just one, it's a social development disorder, and two, it's a neurological disorder. It is something you were born with. It's not something you fucking get. Just stop looking at me like I have the fucking AIDS.
I completely agree with you. It seems to me that people are not looking it up and they're just using it as an insult just to use it as an insult. They're not doing any research. They don't know what it is. They just think you can get to somebody, be more powerful by using a mental disability or just a different way of thinking as an insult.
And that's just it is one of the things that sets off my temper. Um, and I'm trying to explain this in a way to well, we don't have any viewers, but to any viewers that may watch this, and to you, to where you can understand. Obviously, I've called people retarded, but usually I'm just like joking about it. Like with friends. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Okay, good. But it does set off my temper when someone, well, one that I don't even like. If someone knows you're autistic and they tell you, "Hey, you're autistic, therefore you're retarded," that will set off my temper, as well as I don't know about you, but the anti-vaccine people who continue to make the claim that vaccines cause autism.
Those people, I don't want to call them retarded, but they are acting like it. They are acting like people who cannot think for themselves.
Yes, and the only to give you a little history, I don't know if you know, the only quote unquote study was done by I think a guy named Andrew Wakefield, and within like I would say almost instantly, the entire scientific community found out almost immediately that he uh, faked his results because I think he was hired by some pretty much insurance lawyers who wanted to use the study to sue big pharmaceutical companies. Yeah,
What the hell?
yeah. No, I'm serious. Like, after we're done, is look up. I think his name was Andrew Wakefield, and you'll know who I'm talking about. And yeah, and to this day, you have anti-vaccine people just grab a hold of the Wakefield study and use it as an example. And to what I was saying earlier, and to something I'm sure you already know, autism is a neurological disorder. For any dum dums that may be watching this, neurological disorder means you are born with it. It is not something you get. It's not like a cold. Autism is something you are born with. It is a neurological disorder and a social disorder as well.
People just don't get it. And people are getting bullied for it. They're getting bullied for something somebody else doesn't understand.
You got I do remember you saying during the hangout that you had more stories. Would you like to share some of those?
Yes, bullying stories from my own family.
Damn.
My big sister was probably one of the most horrible people in my entire life. Why was she never arrested for abuse? I don't know. It's probably because she was never caught. She was abused by my dad as well, but that's no excuse to pass it on to someone else, especially on higher levels. To this day, she still denies the mental scars she gives me. The hitting, the kicking, the spitting, the mental screw ups, everything. I could still hold her accountable today if I wanted, but she's my sister and I don't want her to suffer. Maybe not a lot, but maybe just a little. Just a little bit. I at least want her to be sorry. She would hit me in the face if I didn't listen to her. She kicked me in the breasts for eating cereal that she wanted. She has pulled my hair. She has dragged me. She has food poisoned me by giving me rotten peanuts as a little kid. She has snitched on me for doing small things like, I don't know, eating a extra piece of pie and I would get hit in the head by my dad for it. And she knew this. And then she would turn around and say to me that I'm an evil person.
Wow, damn. Yeah, believe it or not, my biological mother is probably the reason why I am probably have autism because my biological mother's name is Kathy. I do not have a relationship with her for, um, I guess I should say personal reasons, but I kid you not, she's not an addict. Well, she's a former drug addict, who used to, at the time, leave us home for days on end. Me and my three sisters at the time, for days on end, most time without any food, to go get drugs with her drug addict boyfriend Billy. And apparently, she thought it was a good idea to do those same drugs, which was cocaine, while she was pregnant with me. And the autistic specialist that I saw when I was a kid said that most likely the drug use did contribute to, my diagnosis, pretty much.
That's tough, man.
Yeah. Of course, then again, these are the same quote unquote specialists who said that I wouldn't be able to read, write a car, and hold a job. So who knows what they were saying is actually true or not? Because the cause of autism, to my knowledge, is not known.
I believe, I'm not so sure, but I believe my autism was given to me by my dad. My dad is not diagnosed because he refuses to be, but he shows signs of paranoia schizophrenia, and it is possible that he has also passed it on to my sister.
I'm pretty sure that can be genetic, but as far as I know, it's still unknown if autism is.
Who knows? I just hope we get an answer one day, and I hope one day people will just stop using it as an insult and do some research.
Yeah, I've said this on my. I don't know if you've been around, but one of my hot, again, one of my. I hate to say the word trigger, but one of the things that triggers my temper again is anti-vaccine people, because I get that people are gonna believe whatever stupid shit they want to believe, but when you start spreading lies about my condition, you're going to have a fucking problem with me, because to me that's no different from telling someone who lost a loved member to cancer, well, vaccines cause cancer. No, they don't.
On the topic of bullying, how many times do we have to say it? How many people have to say it that it's wrong? How many times do people have to die for people to get it?
How many times do the victims have to pretty much shoot up schools out of revenge before they get it? How many times is it for you pretty much not okay? And, again, some of these victims end up just flat out killing themselves because of what you all put them through. Okay, this is 2016, and this bullshit is gonna stop. Okay, we're all human beings, and we need to stop ridiculing each other. And you know what? I get it. High school was always gonna be high school, but to bully someone so much to where they either shoot up the school or they end their own life, that bullshit's gotta stop, and it's gonna stop now.
Right now.
Because I can,
Anytime would be nice, but now, today, would be great.
yeah, because I've honestly, again, right now I have an 11-year-old sister, and I'm terrified what's gonna freaking happen to her when she gets into fucking high school and finds out the fucking social hierarchy, if that even still exists in high school anymore.
I have no idea. But if I do someday have kids, maybe, I I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. If bullying still happens when they are around, I'm gonna protect them with my life. I'm gonna protect them from any sort of bullying at all. I'm gonna try my best to prevent the future for them of my past. I'm gonna try, I will, screw trying, I will keep them from suffering like I did.
Yeah. Uh, if I ever have children, which I'm hoping that I don't. I just don't think I'm, I guess, qualified. But if I ever do have kids, the first thing I'm doing is signing them up for some type of martial arts.
Good idea.
Because I mean, freaking, even when I was in high school, I begged my dad to at least teach me some, just even some boxing. He wouldn't even do that. I literally had to go pretty much teach myself from, online. Look at uh, boxing for beginners videos online to just teach myself.
There were a couple of times where I really should have put my fists up, especially when that time I was assaulted by that one boy in gym. I really should have punched him in the face for making me throw up and bruising my stomach. He could have caused internal bleeding if he hit me hard enough. I should have sued. I should have punched him. I should have done something, but I didn't.
Well, maybe next time.
I don't know. Maybe next time. If it does happen again, I will throw a fit.
Well, huh. Well, I think that's all I got for tonight. I'm kind of tired. But you know what,
Yeah, me
AJ?
too.
If you would like, I'm not saying obviously not every day, but if you would like, if you want to make this a regular thing for you and me, that would be awesome.
I'm good. With anything, really. Talking to you is pretty fun.
Alrighty. Yeah. Yeah, just maybe once a week we can do this. Does that sound good to you?
Yep,
Alrighty, well, we'll just definitely discuss that. Alright, this has been the Atheist Ranger and my friend AJ here, just discussing bullying, which apparently we just agreed on is going to happen more in the future. So y'all have a good night and just remember what we said, and because we are going to try and stop it. Peace out.